All right, fifth grade, a little bit of a different format this time around. Instead of seeing the picture here, I want to have plenty of space for you to see my work. So I'm not going to turn on my webcam right now, but I am going to show you the steps of how to make a calculator in Scratch. So in Google Classroom, I've given you this link. It takes you to a project that I've started for you. You've got your robot over here and then some buttons here. These are all sprites that you can see down here. And what you need to do is you need to take this and click on Remix. Oh, wait, double check real quick. Have you logged in? If you haven't logged in, if you're not signed in, please do so that you can actually remix it and then take it to the remix page. Now, the remix page shows your name up here, and it shows that you're able to make changes to this and make it your own. Today's task, we are going to be making a calculator. We want this calculator here to ask if there is, or what operation the person wants to do. We want the person to put in numbers for our calculator to make, and then we are going to have the calculator spit out the answer that way. So that's our task. Ask what operation, put in the operation, put in the numbers, calculator should spit out the task. So let's go ahead and get started, and this is how you do it. Thing that we're going to do is we're going to focus on these sprites down here, these numbers, or excuse me, these buttons. So the buttons show up here, and like I said, what is going to happen is a robot needs to ask the user, what do you want to do? And then the user has to pick whether to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. So to do that, what I need you to do is click our first sprite called add. We're going to come over here to events. I want an event. Okay, so in these events, it's a yellow icon here. What I want us to do is I want us to find the event when this sprite is clicked, and we're going to drag it out here. So when this sprite is clicked, something is going to happen. When I click that, what do I want to have happen? We're actually going to use this block here called broadcast message 1. Now, what a broadcast is that there are different things that you can broadcast out to your whole entire program. It's kind of like plays on a football team or on a basketball team. You can have lots of different plays or things that the players will run if a certain play is called out. So we're going to make a new play or a new message to broadcast out. We click here and we choose new message. We give this message any name that we want. In this case, the message is going to be add. It's kind of like we're going to shout out, add, and then everything in the program is going to know that we're going to run the add play. We're going to do the same thing over here when it comes to subtract. When we click on this sprite, we need to use those same sprites before. When it's clicked, we're going to broadcast, but this time we don't want to broadcast the add message. We want to broadcast a different message. So we're going to click the drop down arrow, and we're going to choose a new message. Well, what would make sense? Let's make the new message be subtract. It's going to broadcast out. Hey, everybody, we're going to subtract. So this button will broadcast add. This button will broadcast subtract. This button, multiply. We can probably guess by now what we're going to do. When the sprite is clicked, we're going to broadcast a message. We're going to make a new message here, and the message is going to be multiply. It's going to shout out, multiply. And our last one, divide. Make a new, or when the sprite is clicked, broadcast out. Call out to all the other sprites in this thing, divide. And then, that's it. These buttons are now perfectly programmed. That's it. Okay, now it's not really going to show anything. When you actually click on these, it'll seem like nothing happens, but really what's happening is kind of a behind the scenes thing where it's going to broadcast out the whole entire, to everything to do these different plays. So now let's write the plays. Let's see what kind of plays we're going to run here. All right, so now we're going to click on our calculator, this guy right here. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to have a green flag. The green flag is a great way to say, okay, so when the program starts, they're going to click right here. What do we want to have happen? We need to have the calculator tell the user to pick one of these buttons. We're going to use a purple looks button up here. So we have some looks button, and one of the things it'll have is the button that says say. and we can type in here anything that we want. So I'm going to choose to have my calculator say pick an operation. Point. Let's see what happens. I click the green flag. He says pick an operation. Cool. If I pick add, now it looks like nothing happens, but what really happened was that the button broadcasted out a message. Now what we need to do is we need to actually write the code that says what that add message does. What does that add play look like? So here is the message for the add button. We're going to come over here to an event, and now I see that I have kind of this block here that says when I receive, and when I choose the drop-down menu, you'll see all the different messages that we made. These are the different plays. So by saying when I receive add, that's saying when he picks up that signal, when he hears that play being called, what is he going to do? Now we get to write the play for add. So what do we want to have happen when add is broadcasted out? So the first thing will be a sensing block, this light blue one here. This light blue sensing block is a way that the computer, the program, kind of senses something that's going to happen. One of the sensing blocks that we have is this ask. Ask is a little bit different than the purple blocks say, because what's going to happen here is it's going to ask the user for something, and then it's going to remember that. So we need to change here. We're going to say ask, and then we're going to say what is the first number, and wait. What happens here is that this is going to ask the user to put in a number. Let's see what happens. When I click the green flag, he says pick an operation. When I click add, oh look, the little thing that changes, what is the first number, and now there's a space down here for me to put in a number. So I'm going to put in the number 3, and I'll say check, and then nothing happens because it doesn't know what to happen next. So let's write in our play what's going to happen next. What we're going to do is we're going to use what's called a variable. A variable is kind of like a way that we can make a block be anything that we want it to be. What we're going to do is we're going to click where it says make a variable right up here. And it's going to say, what do you want to call this variable? We're going to call it first number. And we're going to make it for all sprites. This variable can be anything. It could be letters. It could be numbers. It could be images. A variable is anything you want it to be. In this case, we want it to be a number. So now that I've done that, I see it says first number. What I need to do is I'm going to change or drag this one out and attach it like so. This says when I receive add, I'm going to ask what's your first number, and then I'm going to set the first number variable to be, now this says 0, but I'm actually going to change that by coming over here to the sensing block again and finding that ask block. You see, asking has this little thing attached to it. It's kind of checkboxed underneath. And if I take this and I can actually put this inside this little oval, and look, it kind of becomes big. This makes it so that what is the first number, whatever that user puts in, becomes the value of this guy right here. In fact, when I click it, let's see what happens. So I'm going to say, what is the value? I'm going to show you. I'm going to push this checkbox right here. And I can see that the first number shows up like so, and that says the answers like so. So when I say pick an operation, I click add. It says, what is the first number? And I say 3, and I push check. Look what happens. The first number value is 3, and so is the answer. Interesting. What do I need, though? I need now a second number, too. So I'm going to have my calculator ask another question. Ask something else. What is the second number? And just like before, we're going to need a new variable. We're going to need to store that answer in a new kind of block. The first answer is stored in this block. So let's make another block. Make a variable. Second number. And we're going to say, okay. Notice how it has first numbers here, second numbers there. I can use this block again, but change it so that the second number becomes, in this case, it's a 0. But I don't want it to be a 0. I want it to be whatever they put in this answer. So I'm going to use that again, like so. This now says to ask for a number, and then to put that number in the variable first number. This says, what's the second number? It's going to make that the second number. Let's see what happens here. So I'm going to click the green flag, pick an operation, add. What is the first number? 3. What is the second number? So here's your first number. Here's your second number. It's 5. Notice how the first number is 3 and the second number is 5. I'm going to turn this off now. Okay, I don't need that. The first number is 3 and the second number is 5. Great. So now what do I do with that? Well, I need the calculator to add these and spit the answer back out. So to do that, I'm going to go back up to my looks block. Since I need him to say the answer, I'm going to choose the say block. Say the answer. Then what I'm going to choose to do is I'm going to choose a new kind of block that we haven't used yet. This green one. The green one says operators. An operator is a way that we can do some math. Up at the top, I see that we have different operators. I have blank plus blank, blank minus blank, blank times blank, and blank divided by blank. I'm going to choose this first one here, and drag it out, and put it in that oval, kind of like I did here. Now, I can have the calculator say this and this. This should be a number, and this should be a number. What numbers do we want? Well, we want those variables, these things over here. Notice that these blocks that we made be different things over here, we can drag those out too, and we can put them in here. Now he's going to say the first number plus, what do we want? Probably the second number. Like so. Let's see if this works. I'm going to push the green flag again. Pick an operation. Add. What is the first number? 5. Notice how this got changed. What is the second number? 9. 14. That's the answer. He said the first number plus the second number. Hooray! That's great. Let's try it again. Add, and I'm going to choose a huge number. And I'm going to choose another huge number. And, oh, look at that. The answer's right there. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing, but make it so that we can subtract, because they might choose subtract in here too. The easiest way to do that is to copy this code. To copy it, I'm going to take my mouse up to the top and right click. Now, if you're using a trackpad, you might need to touch it with 2 fingers, a 2-finger tap. Or if you have a mouse, you might right click it. That's the other button that we normally don't use, the one that has your tall finger on it. When I right click on it, I see the option to duplicate. Clicking duplicate brings it down over here, and it's the exact same. But let's change it so that it is going to subtract instead. The first thing I need to do to change it is to come here where it says when I receive, and I'm going to change the message to be subtract. Now I'm writing the subtract play. This can be the same. He's going to ask for the first number. He's going to ask for the second number. We're going to put it into those variables. And then he's going to say first number plus, oh wait, we don't want first number plus second number. We're going to change it out with a green operator. We're going to change it to be the subtract operator, but it's still, it's still going to be the first number minus now the second number. And I don't need this, so I'm going to throw it away. Now I've got code written for subtraction. Let's check it out. Green flag. Subtract. First number is 9. The second number is 2. The answer should be 7. Do we do it right? 7. There it is. Ha. Now we can do the same thing for the other ones. Right-click, duplicate, change our message to be when you get the message multiply. We're going to use the multiply ones here. Multiply the first number times the second number. I don't need you. So say that, and then my multiply should work too. Last, I'm going to duplicate and do my divide. When I receive the divide play, take the first number, second number, and then we're going to use the divide one here. Divide the first number by the second number, not you, and now we have a fully working calculator. Using variables, which we set to any number, and these sensing and operator blocks, some brand new blocks here. Let's give it one more try. What you pick an operation? Divide. Divide this number by this number. I would have never got that as an answer, but there you go. That's what it is. Awesome. Okay, you can build this calculator, hopefully, and then you can give it a try and work it out. Maybe you want to put a different stage in here after you're done. Here's a helpful hint too. The say button is kind of cool, but you can actually, anytime you see these little oval shapes in here, these actually are able to be put into anytime that you see like an oval opening like so. So maybe you want to try and play around with this. Could you pick a random number? Could you compare? Can you make a calculator that might compare different things? That could be kind of fun. See if you can follow along and make your own calculator like so. Then you can run that, and then you can also share it. To share it, you can push the share button like this, and I would put maybe your initials up here at the top, just so I know who it belongs to. And last, if you want to see what other people do, we're going to add it to a studio. When you click on Add to Studio, we've got different studios here, but you can click on Calculator Studio and OK, and it will share it with your classmates. To see the other classmates, you're going to go to your stuff up here and use My Studios like this. Here we can see the Calculator Studio. We can also see the name studio that people are working on. So you can add yourself to those and then open it up and see what kind of calculators people came up with. All right, try this out. I hope you have fun. Email me if you have any questions at daniel.carver@carlislecsd.org, and I will get to you that way. I will see you after spring break. I hope you all have a fantastic spring break, and we'll see you then. All right.